Hi, Dad. Have you ever talked to your daughter about what her plan is for the future? Plan for the future. You've heard this all your life. You need to plan. Plan your work and work your plan. If you don't know where you're going, you won't know how to get there. And your boss might be asking you for a business plan every year. And it's something you go, oh man, I don't want to do this. But if you do, the data would suggest that you'll have a much better chance of getting there, being more successful, being more fulfilled. You know all this stuff. If you hadn't, there's a lot of great books. But a lot of times, Dad, I think with our daughters, we just kind of let that slide. We think of it some more. Mom can take care of that. I mean, after all, Mom's a woman. Your daughter's going to be a woman. She should be able to figure out how to have her place in life. But I think this is a particularly dad kind of thing. It's a kind of dad kind of question. Because we do like to plan. We do like to understand. But the other thing that might be kind of a dad thing is that we'd like to direct our daughters and tell them where they should go. And if you're good in math, you should be an accountant. If you like the medical field, you should be a nurse. No, you should be a doctor. Or if you were going to go to school, you shouldn't go to a state school. You should go to a big private school. Well, that's really not how it should be done. That's not how it works, because what happens is what I've found and what I've tried is it becomes this think where it just bounces off of her head, my head, instead of asking questions and saying, well, how do you feel about this? What do you feel about your future? And opening up that thing and getting her to talk, Dad. And then helping to guide and shape. And it's amazing because your daughter really wants your approval. The data suggests that. The data supports that. It's just like daughters want their father's approval, especially in this area. Daughter, I think you're successful. Daughter, I think you're going in the right direction. Daughter, I think you've got a talent in this area. They want to hear this from you, Dad, but it's got to be truly their talent, not what you want for her. But you start the question by saying, you know, what would you like to be when you grow up? Now, that might sound like a 5th grade question, or maybe a 1st grade question. But this is a great question for teenage daughters. And just ask them what they feel or what they're thinking. And it's okay to thinking these kind of questions. But let her talk and get her talking. And if you have to prompt her a little bit and plan the questions and plan some things that you say, like, you know, daughter, I've seen that you like whatever it is. You're a natural salesman. You are good in math. Things that you can see, things that you can know. And you can prompt her in those and say, well, is this something that you like? Ask her a question. So you can plan these things. You can ask these questions like we've talked about. But what I'm really encouraging you is to actually ask the question. When you've got time with your daughter, one-on-one, plan to ask her about her future and how it might plan. And what kind of school she should go to. And maybe what she would like in terms of a husband. Or what it would mean in terms of a family. Or where would you like to live? Or all these kind of open-ended questions that she's actually been thinking about. Or wondering about. Or afraid about. And you, Dad, if you don't ask, don't get it to be part of that conversation. So don't tell her what you think. Ask her what she thinks. And then take that opportunity to together kind of shape what might be a good outcome, a good path, a good plan. But it's okay to change it. That's what planning's all about. Corporations have a 1-month plan, a quarterly plan, a yearly plan, a 5-year plan, and they change them all the time. And the crystal ball, once you get beyond more than 3 to 4 months, is pretty weak. So it's okay to start having the conversation, and you might find something out that you weren't expecting. That's called serendipity. I'm sure you've heard that term. But ask, Dad. Don't tell. Ask. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And shut up. She'll tell you. And if she doesn't, ask her another good question like that. You're going to have 3 of them written down in your yellow pad before you came to the meeting. Plan it. Do it. Thanks for stopping by.